Okay, we are currently recording. So good morning to everyone who's here. Just as a welcome, it is lovely to see you all. So many familiar faces. There's definitely been a while, but we're all still here at the forum. We're all working from home. I hope all of you are well and that you are managing lockdown as best as you can. It is very interesting for everybody. So I'm sure we're just all trying to manage. I'm just admitting Tessa and Fatima. And some more people. I'll just keep admitting people as they come in.
Yeah.
But if I could ask you, I'm going to share a screen for a second, and I'm going to share my Zoom screen. So for those of you who are new to Zoom, there is a chat option. Let me just maximize those. Where's my Zoom screen? No, stop sharing. Okay, for those of you who are new to Zoom, at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a taskbar that has a chat option. If you click on the chat option, you should see a chat pop up on the right-hand side of your screen. Could I ask you, would you add your name and your organization into that chat group so we can screenshot that as our register for today? Because we do still need to submit registers to DSD and to our funders, etc.
Just our name and the organization.
Yeah, just your name and your organization should be fine for today. I just want to check if Michelle is in this chat. If not, great. Some of you are finding it. That's fine. Our staff will screenshot that. Thank you so much. Okay, so how today's going to work is that it's a very short Zoom meeting. As we go forward, we will extend them. So what's been happening is that our staff have been speaking to many of you on different occasions, whether it's been about food security or financial support or helping your organization through financial support. And we've also chatted to some people about support for learners and for staff. So there's been quite an array of issues or concerns at the moment. And we really thought what's important is to actually just share these concerns and to just be in a space of learning from each other. So over the next few weeks, we will be doing a series, just admitting more people, a series of webinars, a series of these short sessions where we just chat together and share some of our, Nikki, I'm going to mute you for a second, chat together and share some of our issues. There are a few more people. Let me just see if there's anybody I need to admit. Now, for those of you who have joined us, there's a chat section in the right-hand side. Please, would you add your name and your organization so that we can screenshot that as our register. So in chatting to people over the past few weeks, I have chatted to Johan Opperman, who's from Friends Day Center, and then to Nicolette Repepe, who's from Autism Connect Center. And I've asked them to just share their response to COVID-19 and to the lockdown and to what is actually happening at the organizations at the moment. So I think, Johan, would you like to start? Can I let you start?
You can, Amy.
Okay. For everyone else, you will see that your mic is on mute. If you have a question, please add it to the chat section. We've got staff monitoring that, and they'll monitor if you've got any questions, and then I'll put it out to the group. If you want to say something, there is a hand-raising option. Just admitting more people. There is a hand-raising option if you want to raise your hand and ask a question to the person specifically. We will monitor it, and we will post that question to them as well. Okay. Johan, I'm going to hand over to you. I'm going to mute myself so that any background noise that I have doesn't come through as well. So whenever you feel you'd like to stop, you can let me know, and then I'll unmute myself as well.
Thank you, Amy. Good morning, everyone. And Amy, thanks for the opportunity to share what we've been through. I think for everybody here, and I don't think it's only everybody here or anybody here, it is for the whole of the country, the disability sector, and ourselves in our personal lives, a complete, I would say, 180-degree turn that we've gone through since the COVID-19. When it was announced that all the schools would have closed on the Wednesday, and I can't recall the date, I think it must have been the 16th or the 17th of March, I took a bold decision the Sunday evening with my committee to actually go into the center the Monday morning and shut down the center that afternoon at 5 o'clock. Now, it always sounds easy. You go in and you shut it down. It doesn't work that way. You've got month ends that now come 2 weeks forward. You've got to send out communication to the parents saying why you've taken this bold decision, because we sit and I'm convinced, or I'm sure that everybody here would have persons with disabilities in the sector. And I think because we've got these compromised immune systems, I needed to take that bold decision. And I was actually applauded by all the parents for having taken that bold decision. So then we went through the Monday, we shut down the center, and then the hard work started, because then you get SMSs, you get WhatsApps, you got emails, you know, what's happening to school fees. And I've asked the parents just to be patient with us, because not only is this new for them, but as a center, this is also new for us. So during the past 4 weeks, I've literally been sitting and designing, if I could say that for the lack of a better word, procedures and policies to get into place. And it didn't matter when we were going to open, whether that be next year this time. The way we have been managing centers and the way we've done business in our centers, those ways have changed forever. So we needed to adapt, and I sat down and I wrote these policies and procedures, and watching closely what COVID-19 was going to be doing and what the government was going to be doing. The issue that I was faced with was when, just before the Minister, Angie Motshekga and Blyton Nzimande, did their media conferences or media briefings about when the schools were going to open, the day or two before that, a proposal was being presented to Parliament. Yes.
Could I stop you? Sorry, people are saying you're very soft. Could you speak a little louder?
Oh, really?
They're struggling to hear you.
Probably need a new computer. Let's just find money first. Let me turn it up quickly. Is it better now, Amy?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, people are nodding. It's better. That's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to start where Minister Angie Motshekga and Dr. Blyton Nzimande did the proposals as to when the schools were going to open. A day or two before that, the proposal was, and I've got a television screenshot, where it was proposed that special needs centers only open on the 1st of July. So I then sort of wrapped my head around that without having communicated this to my staff, because we've got a COVID-19 WhatsApp group with every single staff member. We've got 45 staff members, and all of them are on that WhatsApp group, but I didn't communicate this to them, just sort of, seeing where this was going. So when Angie Motshekga did her proposal, nothing was being said about special needs centers. It said that schools were going to open in a staggered way, where grade 12s and grade 7s were going to go back on the 1st of June. And in terms of staff, we would go back on the 4th of May, the admin staff. The 11th of May would be the administration staff, the management staff, and then the teachers would go back on the 18th of May. In a podcast the very following day, Angie Motshekga had an interview with 702, I think his surname is Kino Kamis, and there she didn't mention anything about special needs centers again. And then a speech therapist from Rondebosch phoned in and she says, yes, it's all good and well that we say mainstream schools are going to be opening on the 1st of June, but what about the special needs centers? And I honestly, and this is my personal opinion, think they've forgotten about the disability sector. And then she backtracked and said, no, we didn't ring fence that. We've included them in mainstream schools. So all of a sudden, 3-4 weeks beforehand, she now says that mainstream schools are going to be opening. I then presented my management committee, that must have been about five days ago, with my proposal. It was a lengthy document. It was literally 5 pages long. And I've asked them for their inputs, and they've given me the inputs as to how we're going to do it. So I'm just going to tell you what we're going to do, and then the challenges we face doing that. So because we don't really have admin staff, we've got the management team and my professionals, which is the speech therapist, the program implementers, my head of classrooms, and the likes of those, will be returning to the center on the 11th of May, where we will strategize the way forward. How do we sanitize? And we've also got to realize that when you have special needs, you've got drooling kids, you've got physiotherapy, you've got speech therapy, we've even got music therapy that are in very close contact with our learners. So in those instances, social distancing falls away. So what are we going to do when social distancing falls away? We've got jacuzzi for hydrotherapy. We cannot have 5 or 6 children with 3 physios in the jacuzzi anymore. How are we going to do that? So those are the challenges that we need to discuss when we return to the center going forward. In my question to one of the committee members, who is our treasurer and also has a special needs child in the school, you know, can we force our children to wear masks because they're drooling all the time? They've got special needs. It might be irritating them. They cannot communicate. How do we overcome those problems? Because, you know, you put on a mask, the child's happy with the mask, but because he or she is drooling so much, the mask will be dirty and wet in the first 5 minutes of being returned to school. So those are all the issues that we would need to address this coming Monday and the week between Monday and the next Monday when the teachers are coming back. The sanitizing of the school, who's going to be the sanitizing? Is it going to be my health and safety officers delegating to certain staff members? You know, the government says we've got to have at least a 70% alcohol-based hand sanitizer. No, we can't, because our children have got sensitive skins. I've subsequently, and I've known them for a very long time, saw sanitizers and surface sanitizers, which are completely natural. So even if you do have it, you touch your mouth by accident, the child, he or she, there would be no alcohol taste. It would be absolutely a natural sanitizer. So, you know, it's all of those things that we need to make sure that we've got in place. We've got to make sure that all our staff have 2 masks. Is it better to have 2 masks? And the law says that the employer has to make sure that the masks are being cleaned. So do we throw all of those masks into a washing machine and get it out and nobody knows who's who? Do we wash it one by one? Or do we have actually the shields, which I just got an email for quite a reasonable price? So I think if we collectively say, yes, we want the shields because of the massive order that could be, we could get it at cheaper rates. One of the challenges that we faced, my inbox have been flooded with these, are parents saying, how do we pay school fees? Do we get a freeze over this period because no work, no pay? Yes, we can afford to pay the school fees, but do we pay bus fees? You know, and those are all the things that I need to speak to my staff. I've already got the committees a tick that I can go ahead and implement whatever I've suggested. So now we've got to go and sit and face these grassroots level problems, because that is what it is. It's on the ground problems daily. You know, yes, I want to send my kid to school with a bus, but now there's not going to be social distancing in the bus. My kid won't have a mask, but would the carer have gloves on? Would she or he sanitize the bus? When the child gets onto the bus and the seatbelt is fastened, would those hands be sanitized? So I really think these are all the issues that we urgently need to address before 1 June for those centers who do open on the 1st of June, like myself. I know some other centers won't because they've got staff over 60. And you know, the government's regulations on staff over 60 is quite, you know, send them home and put them on leave, paid leave. So these are the issues that we need to address between now and the 1st of June, Amy, if that makes sense to anybody or everybody.
Thank you, Johan. That makes a lot of sense. And I think in listening to you, it is definitely things that many of us are considering. And I think when we speak about working with children and adults with intellectual disability, physical distancing becomes a real concern for us. And it's across the spectrum, whether it is mild and moderate, and just the concept of understanding that you can't hug all your friends now, or that we need a different form of greetings and interactions, all the way down to severe to profound, where can they handle the sensory input or the sensory space of having that mask on their face. We also have learners who have hearing impairments and adults who have hearing impairments. We have some of them who rely on seeing someone's mouth moving in order for communication to happen.
And sight impairment.
Absolutely, sight impairment. There's such a broad consideration that we have to make in terms of our service users and our clients, that meetings and engagements like these are important, so that we're all going to have to learn from each other. There's an absolutely new space for everybody. So we'll break it down in the next couple of weeks in terms of masks, and so physical distancing, and how are people managing it at different organizations. I've heard some interesting stories this week or the past couple of weeks. Some people are doing fantastic ideas when it comes to teaching physical distancing. but that becomes harder when you've got a class of 30 learners. And I know Nicolette is probably going to talk to us about in terms of the autism space and learners on the spectrum and how we teach them physical distancing. So I actually think I want to end off with Michelle and the tips for your financial basis. So I'm going to hand over to, thank you very much, Johan. I'm going to hand over to Nicolette. I'm going to mute you, Johan, and unmute Nicolette. And then Nicolette, do you maybe want to tell us just what has been your concerns in terms of going forward? I'm probably going to give you about 10 minutes in terms of going forward. How what is Autism's Connect plan?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the space. I think it's needed for just to get an understanding where everyone's at. Our centers close, and a lot of what Johannes mentioned, I mean, we can all attest to that. It's things that we've thought about. I mean, I've never been so glued to the TV, just on the news, you know, just to see what is going on and what is actually happening within the space of us as within the disability sector, the special needs side, centers. A lot of emphasis is put on, you know, the education department, schools, and all of that, because we still don't have a clear guideline as to when, you know, we can close. So I'm gonna quickly start from when this all started, and it is a new space for everyone. No one has thought about all these things, and when it dawned upon all of us to close centers, and we just got this notification, we had to close, and it was on the 18th. I think it was on the 18th of March, and you still going through the, you know, just your normal things to do. So we closed, and it was just that. And then, you know, everyone, staff had to just be briefed, you know, we're closing, it's indefinite. I don't know what the next step is. We'll keep you informed. So what has happened from our side is I mainly do everything. We don't have the, you know, where everyone is able to work from home from the management side, which is myself and Cheryl, and which we've established a task team. It was done prior to us closing. So we are 5 members. It's myself, Cheryl, the OT, and our speech therapist, as well as our program implementer. I must say, we've got a group, and we've been, you know, sharing ideas and strategies, you know, on the way forward. So from a center perspective, Johan alluded to it, to keep things, what do you do going back? How do you respond to, you know, setting up the center, disinfection, infection control measures, those policies, and, you know, those type of things. I am in the process currently with it's a consultant, and they've rendered support to us with our safety, occupational safety policies and that prior to, you know, to this whole thing. So they're going to assist us just to formulate some strategies and those policies, getting those things in place when we do return to the workplace. That's the one aspect. The second thing is we've established our team. The team has been on it, working, contacting, being in contact with parents. That's the one thing. So some of our children, most of them have received, you know, contact time, whether it's done via a video call, a Zoom check-in meeting, etc., and just doing, having that contact time with some of our learners. The reality is 50% of our learners we lost due to people losing income. It's been a big blow. The past 2 months have been it's been a challenge in terms of income. Our center operates on fees paid by parents, and we are funded by the department. You know, a part of our learner complement. And so it's been a challenge. I've had parents asking me, why must we pay fees? Our children is not there. And our response was, as a team, and obviously in consultation with our board, that we also had to come up with a strategy in how we are getting funds in. The reality is, over the past 2 months, during the months of March and April, fees have been cut drastically from our normal income. So we've lost a significant amount of fees by parents not paying, and also subsequently children that we've lost. And how is that impacting us going forward? We have a big staff complement. We have 25 to 28 learners prior to the closure. We've had 6 classes. Our children we have 6 children in a class. So it's been reduced to, we've done our homework. It will be reduced to 3 classes now, should we be returning. And subsequent to that, staff will be affected. That's the reality. And we're looking at it short term. Obviously, when we build up and, you know, we try to get back into the swing of things, and children are, there's still a need there for children to be placed that's not in school yet into a setting like us. And but for now, I know what we have on the plan is that there's going to be a reduction in staff. So that plan has been presented to the management committee, our board, and obviously it's a discussion that we're going to have with our staff members. We were able to pay salaries, thank God for that. No one has been without, you know, getting a salary. Our biggest concern is, and my biggest concern is that there wasn't a lot of, Johan said that a lot of thought really put into our sector. When I looked at, there's an opportunity there with the president's announcements. SMMEs are getting, you know, there's an opportunity to access funding there. There's all these other channels, but there's hardly anything for our sector. And I've been sitting and looking, you know, where there is just nothing. We were fortunate as an organization to apply through the COVID-19 Temporary Relief Scheme Fund through the Department of Labor. We were successful then, so we were able to pay a portion of, so, you know, between what we could pay and from that fund claim process, staff were able to pay. We're hoping, you know, and that is it, you know, in the government sector, people still get their salaries. We are literally, this team has been working non-stop. They give me their reports on a monthly basis. Weekly, we do have this type of thing. People are working. And that was my response to parents. You know, we have not made contact. We're not losing you. We're making that connection. The home programs were set up. You know, there's that I can personally say, and I'm not, and I know there's going to be some people listening in. My son is autistic. Some of you know, he's 15. I have a huge challenge. My day is structured. I say I share that with my, I don't sleep late. I can't sleep late. I get up as normal because I have to see to Tyler's program during the day. I've sat 2 days between Monday and Tuesday already. I haven't done anything because I was so busy with with work related stuff, because at the end of the day, it's my reality. There's people that relies on what is Nikki doing. I've got staff asking me, Nikki, you know, what's happening? I don't have the answers, because we are so reliant on, are we going to get fees in? Are we going to get an opportunity here? Is the labor going to come through this month? You know? Yeah, so it's that, because you have, I have my son to see to. I don't have their teachers calling me. We get a message or a document. Here's some strategies to work on. Thank goodness he has an OT, and we've got a home program that is so structured, that's in his private capacity, that I need to work on you know, just to ensure Tyler is stimulated, that he doesn't lose any of his skills. So I don't know, in terms of that, we don't also know what's happening on that front from that side, but it is a big concern. I said to the board, we had our monthly, we had a meeting about 2 weeks ago, and the reality is, if we don't get adequate funding in, or, you know, fees being paid, you know, what happens? Do we close our doors? We cannot afford to close our doors. There's a need. People rely on our service.
Absolutely. I'm actually just going to have to stop you there. Thank you very much. I think what you're sharing is a concern that is one of, from what I can see just in comments, I think that is everybody's concern from a financial aspect. As many of us are nonprofits, what are our options going forward? And I think it's a great way for me to just pull Michelle in now. Michelle, I'm going to unmute you. It's so nice to see you. Hello. We haven't seen each other in about 2 months. So yeah, we've got about 10 minutes left. I know Michelle can do a full session on finances during COVID, and I think we will plan one that is a much longer session, because I can see from the questions as well that this is the biggest issue that people are having at the moment, is how do we make our organization survive this period? So Michelle, we've got about 10 minutes. Can I give it over to you to just give us some tips and some things we should be considering throughout this period?
Yes, hi everyone. It was really interesting to hear the conversations. Can you hear me? Is everybody hearing me? Fine? Okay, good. It is very interesting to hear the conversations, and I think at this moment it's not an easy task, especially for center managers and also for boards, because at the I also want to bring in the board. It's not just the center manager's responsibility. I think in conjunction with the board, that you have to make these type of decisions, and I think I'm speaking from the point at this moment that you have engaged with the board, that you have find out at the moment where your cash flow is, and also that you know cash flow versus your operating expenses. What is actually in my kitty, like my grandma would put it, in my kitty, in the sense of you would know what is your net financial position at this moment, and how long you can split it, and over how much time, if it can carry over a month, over 2 months, over 3 months. And you will have to sit down and do that calculation, and then from there, then you can unpack it and say, okay, this is my practical plan, how I will go about structuring this cash flow that I have now, so that I can still remain open, so that I can still be there after 3 months or 2 months. Are you with me? Because if we haven't done that, then how can you answer those difficult questions? You have to know where you are at first, what is your financial position, and from there onwards you can make your plans. I think also then you can say, okay, I've got these creditors, I can contact them and ask them maybe if there's a payment plan available, or if I can defer payments, or if I can do part payments. You know what I'm saying? And also with your staff, you will have to have that difficult conversation and say, okay, I could pay you the salary at end of April, I could pay you a full salary, but now from May and June, maybe we will have to talk about cutting it maybe to 60% or 70%, because this is our reality. Or otherwise, if I give you 100% now salary, then I won't have for May and June. So these are the conversations that we will have. And I think Nicolette also touched on the employment relief scheme, the UIF that is available, but it's only available if you are compliant, if you are registered with the UIF. And you see, these are where these things comes in, that your due diligence, is everything in place, and the UIF scheme is only paying out according to the COVID-19 relief scheme if you have been registered before the 28th of February 2020. So if you have not been registered for UIF, if you register only after that, then you won't be able to claim. And also the process, I think, wasn't so easy, you know, because it was a learning curve for government, and in the beginning it was this kind of spreadsheet and this kind of thing. But now I see that government has an online portal, a website available. If you want it, we can give that details to you later, where you can register, and you must use your Department of Labor reference number. Normally we pay over our pay-as-you-earn and our UIF and all that, and there's a different number, but to be registered with the Department of Labor, they have like 7-digit number. So that is the number that you need to use when you register on the online website, and then they want you to put down all your information of your employees with their banking details, and all that information is then sent off. Normally, you will submit your UI-19 every 7th of the month, and that is actually the details that you will put in your spreadsheet when you claim for the UIF relief scheme. As Nicolette said, thank you, Nicolette, for doing that, in the sense of that you went through that. I hope your process wasn't difficult. Okay. Also, what government has done, there's also your pay-as-you-earn for those that you pay your pay-as-you-earn on the 7th of each month, where you can defer a portion of that payment, so that you can have a bit of cash flow. So it's about, I think, 38% that you can defer. So 62% of your pay-as-you-earn you can pay, and then the 38% you can defer. So then you can use that cash flow maybe on other places. The deferment works like that. So from August then onwards, then you will pay maybe May's pay-as-you-earn 38%, and so from August then you will pay back the 38%, if I can put it that way. And the government said also it's without interest and without penalties that you can pay it. So these are actually the options now that I just wanted to go through, and I want to know if there's any questions. Back to you, Amy.
Thank you, Michelle. There are some questions on the side, and I just wanted to say that if you do have questions, if you haven't read the chat section, please put them in the chat section, because we'll use this for future webinar planning as well. Yes, Vanessa, you can have a minute. Vanessa has been in discussions with Department of Basic Education regarding special care centers, and not just special care centers, but special education in general. Vanessa, I actually just have to find you in this long list. There you are, so I can unmute you. I'm going to unmute you. We will literally have 2 minutes though, Vanessa.
Thanks so much, Amy, and good morning, everyone. I think I need to explain very quickly that we as the Forum have been in discussion with other civil society organizations led by Equal Education Law Center. We sent a letter to the Minister of Education to get clarity about the support they're giving to children with disabilities in mainstream special schools and special care centers now, and also what the plan is going forward. She didn't respond to our request. We then requested a meeting with the Inclusive Education Directorate at the National Department of Education. We had a meeting with them yesterday or the day before. And, excuse me, firstly, we are very pleased that DBE is recognizing the special care centers as part of their responsibility, because that is where the entire right to education judgment places them as the lead department. So we are pleased about it. I think we need to understand that the Department of Education and the Minister of Education are not saying the same thing to everybody at the same time. And this has come up in the media as well. I think we are more concerned at this moment about what the Education Department itself is saying instead of the Minister, because they implement decisions. Quite honestly, they do not really have a plan for us for this immediate time. However, what we could glean from the information given to us is that special care centers will open 2 months after the other schools open. So if schools open in June, they'll probably open in September. However, this depends on collaboration with the Department of Social Development and the Department of Health, and we have asked them to do that. So that's where we stand at the moment. What I'd like to make clear is we are fighting in the background about this too.
Thank you, Vanessa. Guys, we literally have less than a minute left. And I know Tessa wanted to say something as well. And I'm sorry, Tessa, I don't think we have the time for it. I think we'll have to start with you on the next session. We definitely need feedback from you from these sessions. So if there are things you want us to know and focus on in these sessions, please email them to me or Busi. It's either coordinator at WCFID or programs. I'm programs at WCFID. I am very appreciative of all of you that have joined us this morning. I'm sorry it's so short. From next week on, we will make them longer. I think we will make them about an hour. And also, if you feel that you want one specifically for your sector, if you want one for group homes, then